be so far ahead right now, where he's still ahead, but he's not as crazy ahead as he optimally should be. An SCV scout here at the temple wall. Kind of curious what that's about. Still not a large degree of turret coverage, but there's no additional Reaver being produced, nor additional Reaver harass approaching, so he doesn't really have to worry about it. Citadel of Adun as well as a Forge now being produced, and both players content to kind of sit back and macro. Vulture running up to the 1 o'clock position just to kind of check it out, make sure that an expansion's not there. Let's see if he plants a mine just to blockade that off. Not going to plant a mine. It doesn't look like he actually has any mines left, so just scouting. Let's see if he sends up another Vulture to blockade that. That's a really annoying thing to do as a Terran opponent, is make sure you just plant mines at all those additional expansions. Because first of all, it alerts you when that expansion is going down. Second of all, it forces your protoss opponent to either send out a Zealot just to kind of absorb some damage there, or an Observer and a Dragoon, and it's just that much more micro that you don't want to have to deal with. So a couple Vultures gathering up for sorry about that, my voice cracking like I'm 14 here. A couple more Vultures gathering up, but they're not going to be able to break this Dragoon line. Just too much firepower on that front edge. Engineering bay floating off into oblivion. Not quite sure what that's about. Vulture, it looks like two of them actually managing to sneak out, planting a mine as they leave, I guess just for a treat. And now Steve going to take an expansion, his third expansion. He was economically behind. This will put him economically ahead if if DaisyP does not take an expansion for himself here, or if he does not just press, do some additional damage here. Weapons 1, I'm still not seeing an Arbiter Tribunal. 2 more gateways up, and I really expected to see either an additional expansion and a whole bunch of gateways, or an additional expansion and an Arbiter Tribunal at right around this stage of the game. It looks like Daisy just kind of pumping Dragoons, getting his economy working instead, getting a cannon up just in case. Vulture's in the middle of the map, mine planted on that temple wall. That'll also kind of give him a spot just in case. The Observer wandering up to do a little bit of spotting here does manage to push back turret kind of close on that front door. And it looks like that supply depot finally being taken down by Steve. He realizes, man, this is really, really, really hurting me. Let's just get rid of it. I've got enough supply. I don't have to really worry about it. But Steve, even in production, looks like now a probe wandering out to take that 1 o'clock position. A couple Vultures just watching it happen, which kind of hurts. Pretty good. Ooh, gonna wander headlong into mine. Oh, and that just damaged all sorts of Dragoons right there. I hate mines. They're so ridiculous. A couple more Vultures wandering out, but honestly, this could be enough to smash the front door depending on how it's microed. If he opens up that back temple wall, it would take forever with Dragoons, but I don't think that Steve can really do... Well, this is actually a lot of tanks. I don't know that he would have a good time defending both fronts. A lot of units starting to be flooded out here for DaisyP. Steve actually making a pretty nice recovery. He's not completely out of this game. He is within the supply amount, but his secondary not running at all, running a lot of the mineral bonus, putting down 2 armories, try to catch up on upgrades, also getting a starport, so he's maybe thinking about arbiters. A lot of idle SCVs here, which also hurts. An engineering bay this engineering bay is going to get taken out. So it looks like DaisyP's thoughts were, let me wander out and make sure that he's not taking any additional expansions to try to sneak a lead here. High Templar being produced. Still no, and this is shocking to me, still no Arbiter Tribunal, still no Stargate, still no 1 o'clock expansion here from Daisy. So I guess feeling confident in his lead here. He's going to start wandering up towards that front door. It's still just piecemeal Vulture attacks kind of wandering out. They're going to get, maybe not. They are going to be able to sneak by. At the secondary, too many Dragoons to really push in there. They could go to the 1 o'clock location, maybe kill that probe, but I don't think that attack would last very long, and leaving a lot of mines, that is going to cut reinforcements, so which is just absolutely frustrating when you run your Zealots across the middle of the map without an Observer, and then they end up getting killed exactly like this. I hate this. Looks like 1 mine did get picked off at the very least, but he's going to hold up short a little bit. I'm sure he's like, how did that happen? Didn't pick off the High Templar. I think that would have been the key opportunity there for Steve. But right now he's just falling. He's actually economically ahead technically because he's got 3 bases. They're running, but it doesn't look like it's transferring into a bigger lead because he's still running off 4 factories. DaisyP, although on the other end, DaisyP is only running, it looks like, at 6 gateways, 7 gateways. He's got 2 forges down of his own. Citadel of Adun, but Daisy not really using the big advantage he has to go tech or take expansions. He is taking that 1 o'clock. I would have expected that a lot earlier. SCV just trying to hang out there at 3. And now, yeah, more vultures, more tanks kind of gathering up in the front door. Let's see if Steve goes for a big push. He is running a pretty heavy mineral surplus here. A little bit of a bad kind of gas to mineral ratio. Let's see if he can plop down a couple more supply depots, build another command center or something like that. I mean, he has the minerals to do it at this stage. But shuttle gathering up, a lot of High Templar. Looks like a couple vultures are going to be able to sneak through to that to that 1 o'clock expansion. Again, they should be crushed fairly quickly, planting mines to kind of cover their trail. But Observer right there on top of it. Looks like Observer speed was researched. And yeah, some probes, 2 probes in transfer here. In the meantime, Steve, it looks like, yeah, he's just trying to gather up a big enough attack force. He might try to make a run here. Ooh, a lot of tanks in that one factory. He might try to make a run here, now getting 2 additional factories down. Vulture's able to get some probe kills, so a little bit of a bonus. Weapons 1 is upgraded. Looks like they managed to get about 2 probe kills. That Nexus not really fully populated. And Daisy committing his entire army to these 4 vultures doesn't really need to do so. And I'm waiting for that starport. More gateways going down. A pretty good bonus. So DaisyP, even though he did a lot of that economic harass early, economic harass early, he does have a pretty sizable macro lead. But yeah, he should. I'm surprised he hasn't taken complete map control at this stage. Just kind of plant a bunch of dragoons, just put a big attack force right on Steve's front door. Starport up in the background now. And another command center going up, as well as another engineering bay to provide some turrets. Armor 1 being researched. Doesn't look like Weapons 2 is being researched. Man, my speech is slurring. You'd think I had been drinking. It's the effects of sleep deprivation. Actually, I should do a drunk commentary. Maybe I'll do that in the near future. I'm sure that'll get a billion comments. Well, not a drunk commentary, but because I don't generally get drunk. It takes a lot of alcohol. I'm a pretty big guy. May do at least a I'm buzzed commentary, or had a beer or 2 commentary. I'm sure you guys would enjoy that. Sorry for those who have kids listening who are impressionable. Whatever. Anyway, Vulture's starting to wander out. There's a pretty large tank force here. The mines not really covering those tanks a little bit. Well, yeah, they are. Let's see if those Zealots are going to be able to push to that front door. And Daisy really playing this very carefully, very tentatively. And this is another problem, is with pushes like this, there's nothing to stop that shuttle from really kind of wandering out and taking those tanks down, because you can't really get turrets up, so you need Goliaths to support. Without the Goliaths, these 2 Marines are not going to stop that shuttle from doing a lot of Zealot bombs here. Looks like a Zealot just kind of hanging out that 9 o'clock position. For what purpose, I'm not entirely sure. But a very large attack force. Looks like Daisy is maxed. 165 supply, the opposite end. And Daisy at this stage should just start attacking. He's got a pretty sizable economy. He's maxed. You might as well he's got the big map macro advantage. He's already got the 1 o'clock running. Just put a pylon at every other base. Looks like a command center floating out here to the 5 o'clock expansion. Yeah, just put a pylon to every other base. Start suiciding some Zealots, and I'm shocked, absolutely shocked, that we haven't seen Arbiter of the stage. Nice pick off there by Steve, able to take out a High Templar. So, and a couple mines out on the front door. This would be an absolute it's possible that Steve could, just because Daisy's giving him a lot of time to build up an attack force, if Steve maxes, particularly with the upgrades he's got, it looks actually like level 2 weapons, level 1 armor, so the upgrades aren't going to play as big a factor as I thought they were. But it is conceivable that he could come back in this game. He does have this dropship out. Let's see if he tries to go for a Vulture drop along that back edge. I guess not seeing any Arbiters, he's not going to put down a science facility. His main completely running dry. Still pumping out of, it looks like 6 factories. He does have a science facility up. And now it looks like that dropship full of a couple Marines. That's a bit confusing. That's not the unit composition expected inside that shuttle. And now the huge attack from Steve, going to bear down, catching those tanks in siege transition. The Zealots not being actually moved into the tank line. Looks like the southern Zealots actually are being moved into the tank line. But yeah, the tank should be fairly taken care of. Zealot bombs coming from above, and those mines were not killed after the fact, so this is going to get completely wiped out. And just like that, Steve's entire attack force completely wiped out, and he's just got these trailing units to defend his main. The Dragoons are just going to continue barreling in. There's another attack force actually waiting at Daisy's front door almost instantaneously. Looks like that shuttle actually going to absorb some hits, so it is actually going to serve a pretty good function there. And immediately, it looks like a Zealot managed to wander down there, that command center being lifted off. There's no way he's going to be able to take that. He's just hoping to take that in the dark. SCV's coming off the secondary to try to push those Dragoons back. I'm not sure that's a good tactic.